Hello everybody, what is going on? This is Marcus and it's been a while, but I am back here so you can actually listen to me. Now, quite a few people have asked me why I did not comment on all of the games from the Japan and Germany friendly that I will be analyzing today. First reason for that is that because all of those battles were in the form of actual battle videos. It was difficult, they are very quick paced, and also the only game I can actually like really comment on the thought process between the turns is like my own game, and I will be analyzing my own game later on, and then just say some words about the other games. But yeah, so I will be analyzing the Japan versus Germany friendly that happened past Sunday. All five of those games, all five matchups that you can see on the screen right now. Team Japan coming here with C, Alcana, Moriyama, Tony, and obviously also the reigning world champion Vieira. And Team Germany consisted of Billa, Drugdug, Mikilele, Dufflo, and myself. So yeah, all of those five games are on my channel already. If you're watching this video, you probably watched all of them already. But if you did not watch them, then you should definitely watch them, because I will basically expect you to have watched them, as I will be analyzing the games later on. However, if you do not have the time to watch them and you're just here for, I don't know, like all the teams in one spot, which is something I will also provide later, then you can just skip forward to that point or just keep watching. So anyway, those are the five matchups, and as I said, all five games are on my channel. Here are the teams that the respective player used. First matchup of the day was C versus myself. C is probably not that popular in the Western world, as he never attended a World Championship. However, he's a very famous player in Japan, based off of his offline tournament records and also online tournaments. For example, since Japan only has like nationals as their only big offline event, there's like a very big grassroots scenes, and like the main grassroots tournament series is called the Battle Gloria, and there's like several qualifiers, and like it's a little bit complicated. Anyway, there's also a nationals final, and in 2014 he won that national final, so he had to go through the qualifiers and then beat all the other players who are also qualified for that. So that is impressive in itself. And then he's like very consistent, attended Japan nationals quite a few times, and you have to qualify for that, unlike in with our tournaments. And then myself. So these were the teams that we both brought to this battle. Now the Japanese players actually really wanted to play best of one. And by the way, shoutouts to Billa, who did most of the organizational things, and Vieira, who did it for the Japan team. As without both of those, this wouldn't have happened. So anyway, the Japanese players, since their qualifiers are mostly best of one, like they have to qualify for nationals mostly, or in past few years, and that is via a Wi-Fi tournament, the so-called Japan Cup, and that is best of one, and then nationals is best of one as well. So they wanted to play best of one. We tried to push best of three, but they were they really preferred best of one. So okay, best of one. And I was thinking, what could I bring here? I mean, C is definitely like a very solid player, but he's also like a little bit standardish. And then he likes to throw in like a trick room from time to time. Like his 2014 team had trick room Gardevoir, for example, and then like Kangaskhan, Garchomp, Salamence, Rotom H, Bisharp, and all those stuff. And his team from last year had Trick Room Mega Guardy and Azumarill, Infernape, Amoonguss, Landorus, and so on. Heatran, I think. Um, he's definitely like a standardish player. So I thought Amoonguss could probably be doing well in case he brings Trick Room. However, instead of Trick Room, he actually brought like two flying types in Salamence and Talonflame, so I didn't bring Amoonguss to the actual battle. But I will go over what happened that game in a little bit, and this is just like for some like overview. So, very similar teams, and as it happens with those teams, sometimes like speed ties are involved, and we also saw that in our game. But I will come to that at like a little bit later. The second matchup was Alcana versus Billa. Now, once again, Alcana not very popular in the Western world, but I did not like. I don't know too much about him, but if he made it on Team Japan here, he's definitely like very good. Oh, by the way, like even though I'm calling this like Team Japan, Team Germany, we do not really claim to be like the representatives of our respective country, and this was mainly just like like a showdown, like some show games between friends, as like Moriyama, Tony, and Vieira, I know in person as I've met them at World Championships like this year and last year, and or I should say 2014 and 2015. And so yeah, we hung out there, and they're great guys. So we were like, hey, like, what have you been doing? Which is 16. Maybe we could like do this friendly game. And so yeah, also like for example, Layo, who's missing on our roster, that was because of time like scheduling difficulties because of the time difference between Japan and Germany. And then yeah, also like I mean, there's like a lot of good players in both in Japan and Germany, obviously, who did not make this. But yeah. So Alcana's team is very interesting. Kyogre Ray Quasar variation now. Yeah, like basically Groudon plus Xerneas and Kyogre plus Rayquaza are probably the most common duos in Megas, or in restricted mons, I should say. Sorry. Um, yeah, Groudon Xerneas obviously coming with Kangaskhan as their Mega most of the time, but I will be analyzing that in a little bit as well. And then Bulla's team is very similar to mine, as we've been, yeah, like bouncing ideas back and forth a little bit. And yeah, you also saw us play in that German practice tournament with where he also had like a very similar team to this. Yes. And then next matchup was Moriyama versus Drug Dog Moriyama. Placed second place at Japan Nationals past season and also got to the top 8 at Worlds. And yeah, Drug Dog, I believe, how many times did he qualify for Worlds? Like 4 or 5 times. He's been like a veteran of the German scene, like goes all the way back to, I don't know, like 2005 or maybe even sooner than that. But yeah, still very strong, obviously. And he was actually using a Brown song, which is something that Moriyama introduced in VGC 2013. So if some of you guys were around back then, there was this famous team he built with Trick Room, Skill Swap, Bronze Song next to Eruption Heatran, and it was very, very powerful. Drugtech actually also used that in 2013 at Nationals to go X and O in German Swiss at Nationals. But yeah, so that's just some kind of fun story. And then we had Tony versus Mikilele. Tony, the 2014 Japanese national champion and world semifinalist this year. And Mikilele got like 4 respective top 8 finishes at 4 nationals he attended in 2012 and 13. Now he was a little bit more busy in like the last 2 seasons, but he's still around, and he played yeah, the GS Cup format for a little bit, so he has a little bit of an experience advantage in this format. So yeah, he was chosen as a member as he was comfortable in his team. And then the last matchup was probably the most anticipated out of those 5. But yeah, like basically all the 5 of them are pretty good games. Yeah, we had Vieira versus Daflo. So yeah, you probably watched all of those games already, and if you did not, this is like the last chance to go watch them, and you should definitely do so, because now I will not only will I reveal like the outcomes of each respective game, but also go over some key turns and some plays I thought were interesting. So yeah. Now, if you just watched them, and welcome back, but so we'll go on. This is what happened. I was able to narrowly beat C, Billa beat Alcana, Mariyama and Tony made it a 2-2 for Japan, but in the final game, Daflo was able to overcome Vieira, so in the end, Germany won this encounter with Japan 3-2, but obviously this does not mean that Germany is better than Japan by any means, but still, like, we're obviously proud that we were able to yeah, beat them, as Japan obviously the strongest country in VGC. Yeah, especially after what happened at Worlds last year, everybody should finally like know that. So yes, and then since I was like doing this presentation anyway, I thought, hey, why not do some usage stats? I mean, I know this were only like 10 people played here, so obviously those stats are not respective or like not representative of the metagame at all, and you should definitely not think like, oh wow, like there's only Kangaskhan, Groudon, Xerneas running around, this format sucks or anything like that. This is just to show that I mean, obviously those were like 10 pretty good players that played here, and what they thought might do well here in a best of 1 setting. And yeah, in fact, we did see 7 teams, including myself, that used Primal Groudon, Xerneas, and Kangaskhan. And then we also saw 3 more teams that had a Kyogre, so yeah, as expected, like no team that went without a primal weather. Um, but yeah, I think it's still a little bit like concerning that so many people opted to go for that Xerneas Kangaskhan Groudon build. But then again, in a best of one setting, especially, I think this is like something worth pointing out. Especially there, I think with Kangaskhan Groudon and Xerneas, you do have like a shot against anything basically. And if you combine that with stuff like, I don't know, like the Liepard or like Smeargle, for example, that was featured on some of those teams. Yeah, you have the ability to steal a game even off of like a stronger opponent. And yeah, in best of one, I mean, anything can happen. Sometimes games just come down to primal Groudon speed ties, like who's faster with the Earth Power, for example, and is able to one-hit KO the other guy first. Other games come down to Kangaskhan speed ties. Other games come down to Xerneas speed ties. So there's like a lot of stuff that can happen in best of one. And if you're playing against something that is not Groudon, Xerneas, Kangaskhan, you can always like I don't know, like get lucky, somehow get an opportunity to set up Geomancy and then just proceed to sweep them. So I think that is the reasoning behind like 7 out of those 10 players choosing to go with Xerneas, Kangaskhan, Groudon. For myself, it was what I was most comfortable with, and I felt that I was at least on like even ground against like any opponent. So with like that team, I would at least like have like, I don't know, like a 40% fighting chance. And yeah. So something else that I thought was interesting to point out was that there were like quite a few of Talonflames and Amoonguss. Now, we didn't see Amoonguss too often in the first few weeks of VGC 16, but I do think that is a very solid pick. I also explained it in one of the short on lives, um, where I was like actually using Sash on Amoonguss. However, unfortunately, I couldn't use it in this team since I also had the Liepard. But yeah, as I said earlier, Talonflame and Mance really yeah, turned me away from bringing Amoonguss to this battle. Um, and then we saw like only 3 different Mega Evolutions, which is also pretty interesting. I mean, Kangaskhan, obviously the most solid choice in any format that it existed, basically. Yeah, barring late 2014 probably. And then Salamence, I do think Salamence is probably a little bit underrating at the moment, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe people are rating it right. But I do think that is very, very strong, and it should be the second best Mega in this format. Like above the likes of Rayquaza and Marvel probably. Though Rayquaza is like a little bit different of a case, so it's difficult to compare Salamence to Rayquaza in my opinion. Anyway, moving on, then we do have 3 Cresselia and 3 Kyogre, um, which is, yeah, I don't know, like kind of interesting, but really looks like people have favored Groudon here a little bit more. But then again, only 10 people attending, so not that representative of the whole metagame. We also see 3 Smeargles, 3 Crobats, I don't know, like a lot of stuff that we talked about. Then probably some more uncommon choices is probably that Bronzong that I touched upon a little bit earlier, which is actually using like the Trick Room and Skill Swap stuff. But it also has Gyro Ball for Xerneas, so it's a little bit like Cress, but has that Steel typing, resistances to Fairy type attacks, to normal type attacks from Kangaskhan, and is slower, has Gyro Ball for Xerneas, so yeah. And then we do see like 1 Weavile, 1 Aegislash, 1 Ferrothorn. Um, Ferrothorn and Weavile both on Alcana's team, and I mean their number is like that low because they're mostly like partners of yeah, like Rayquaza and Kyogre, and we only had like 2 Rayquaza Kyogre teams. But yeah, so those are the usage statistics. Do with them whatever you want. Try to yeah, like I don't know, like try to build those teams from seeing the 6 months here, or just watch the battles and I don't know, try to counter these kind of teams. But so, moving on to the um yeah, by the way, those were some stuff I wanted to point out. We only had like Groudon and Xerneas come together, and then Kyogre came with Rayquaza twice and with Dialga once. The only Megas we saw, or like we saw Kangaskhan on every single team that did not have a Rayquaza, and then Salamence was only used as like a secondary Mega with Kangaskhan. But yeah, I kind of touched on that a little bit earlier. So moving on to the battles. So this was my game, and I am actually going to finally commentate on this a little bit. Yeah, so just yeah, on top you can see what we both brought and what we did not bring. As I said, Amoongus didn't look like a good choice here against double fire and double flying types, so I went with Leopard and Groudon, as I felt like yeah, against any lead I can probably even get away with like Fake Out and Eruption turn 1, or yeah, Spread Paralysis with Thunder Wave, which is what I actually had on this Leopard, and I just felt that I could somehow get a grip on my opponent's team. Now, something worth noting is that I did not bring Xerneas to this battle, so yeah, unlike him, I only had Groudon as my sole restricted mon. This is because I felt that maybe he could go into like, yeah, like what he did with Groudon, Talonflame, Kangaskhan, where it's a little bit more difficult for Xerneas to really pull through, and I don't know, I just felt like going with Groudon was my better option, and then I wanted Talonflame in the back and Kangaskhan for their strong priority attacks in case he was able to somehow set up his Xerneas. So first turn went perfectly. I went for the Fake Out on the Talonflame, predicting like the Tailwind, for example, and also the Eruption to get off damage on the Talonflame, predicting the Protect on the Groudon. Second turn, I kind of predicted his Salamence to come in, however, in the end, yeah, he didn't bring it, so he couldn't switch it in, but since I was max speed, I risked the speed tie here and actually won it, but Foul Play and Eruption is not able to take out his Groudon. However, it took out his Talonflame, but yeah, I was max speed, so I was like, hey, at least this is like a 50-50 worst case, maybe I'm faster, but turned out that he was also max speed, but I won the speed tie this time, and this probably already kind of decided the game, as while he went for the KO and my Groudon, he was severely weakened with his Groudon, and his Talonflame was like already out of the picture. He did not go for like a Tailwind, for example, that would definitely have helped him, but instead for the Quick Guard to block a potential Encore, so that I couldn't Encore his Ground and to protect. But yeah, as I said earlier, I did have Thunder Wave on this Leopard, and so yeah, no Encore. We both brought out our Kangaskhan's right here, and I kind of feel like that he probably has to make a play here, and that he would go for a Protect with his Groudon and low kick my Kangaskhan with his Kangaskhan. However, he did not protect his Groudon, probably still fearing a potential Encore, but I got the prediction right that his Kangaskhan would not go for the Fake Out, but instead attack. So I got off the Fake Out and the Foul Play. So right here, he reveals the Perseus Blades, and his Groudon was faster than his Kangaskhan, so I thought that my Kangaskhan would outspeed his Kangaskhan since I'm Jolly Max Speed, which is something that will come into play later on. But yeah, right now I just went for the Sucker Punch, thinking that I was faster than his Kangaskhan, and also the Foul Play on his Groudon to take it out. He once again did not go for any protects, which is a good play right here because it puts him into a position where he could bring out Xerneas and Kangaskhan at the same time. So he threatens Fake Out plus Geomancy right now. Yeah, he went for the Fake Out on the Leopard here, which is fine. I think I went for the either Foul Play on the Kangaskhan or just T-Wave the Xerneas. I'm not entirely sure. Right here, I go for the Double Edge onto that Xerneas. I could have taken out the Kangaskhan, I think, instead. But yeah, if in case he attacked with Xerneas right here, but he went for the Geomancy, predicting me to have my own Xerneas in the back. But as I said earlier, I did have Talonflame, and yeah, I probably should have taken out the Kangaskhan first, but then probably Dazzling Gleam could have taken me out from the HP I was. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was also definitely like a play to consider. So anyway, I did have Talonflame in the bag, which is something he did not expect. So I was able to go for the Brave Bird and Sucker Punch right here. And I thought this was like a guaranteed victory because in my head I was faster with Kangaskhan than his Kangaskhan. So I really didn't think too much about this last turn. But there was actually still a chance for him to come back here in case like he should have, or like he could have protected his Xerneas. Went for the Sucker Punch on my Kangaskhan knowing that it was a speed tie and that I was probably like not thinking too hard about my move here. The other option for me, which would have been safer, was to go for the Brave Bird on the Kangaskhan and just the double edge on the Xerneas. But I was like afraid of, I don't know, like Dazzling Gleam, double critting my mons, and then I probably like would lose. But yeah, as I said, I thought I was faster with Kangaskhan, so I did go for the Sucker Punch, thinking that I was safe, but I actually wasn't. So that was like foolish play on my end. But in the end, it worked out, and so yeah, I got that victory. I was definitely happy about this. Also, we saw some interesting stuff. First of all, I was happy because C's team is so similar to mine, so I was thinking to myself, yeah, I'm probably doing something right. Then he also revealed Percival's Blades on his ground, which was pretty interesting, as we saw he was max speed, as he actually outsped his Kangaskhan while he was not Mega Evolved. But and then yeah, so that means that he was max speed because and speed tied himself, because in the end his Kangaskhan won the speed tie against my Kangaskhan. So he was like max speed, and then a lot of special attack probably for Earth Power, and I guess Eruption would be the last move. But then he also has Percival's Blades, so interesting moveset, but wasn't really able to carry the weight in this game. And yeah, once again, I definitely get lucky with that ground speed tie, but that's what some of those games just come down to, and yeah, that's just what I think about this game. The next game we had was between Billa and Alcana, and yeah, Billa, I don't know, like I don't know where to start it. Either it was a mistake by Alcana for not bringing Ferrothorn or Crobat to this game, or it was just brilliant. I don't know, like brilliant picking by Billa. But in this situation, that was like the first turn situation, there was like zero chance for Alcana to win with the move Billa did, I think. Now you should definitely watch this game if you didn't, but yeah, if you made it this far in this video, then you probably watched it. So what Billa did was he had Scarf Smeargle, and he went for the fake out on Alcana's Weavile. Going first because of the choice Scarf, Weavile flinches. He also wanted to go for a fake out, and Alcana's Rayquaza was revealed to be Joy Span, since its extreme speed was able to one-hit KO Billa's Smeargle. But then Xerneas went for the Moonblast, proceeded to take out the Rayquaza, and then Kangaskhan came in, fake out Geomancy, and then basically like it was all lost for Alcana. But yeah, with the way he picked here, no Crobat nor Ferrothorn, there was no answer whatsoever he had to the play that Billa made. Like, Billa could have straight up told him, you know what, Alcana, I'm going for the Choice Scarf, fake out on your Weavile and Moonblast, and there was nothing Alcana could do, because Kyogre and Landorus he had in the bag were both slower than the Xerneas, and Rayquaza was Choice Band, so he couldn't protect it, and there was nothing he could switch into Moonblast, and then next turn, like, Xerneas would just go for the Dazzling Gleam and just pick up the pieces. So yeah, nice play there by Bulla and Alcana. Once again, I think he should have probably realized this and went with Ferrothorn or Crobat to at least set up the Tailwind, or like Crobat, Ferrothorn, like definitely like a strong choice. But then yeah, Smeargle would have done some other stuff, I would guess. But yeah, pure domination by Bulla in this game. He was able to figure out the one move he needed to do the first turn. And yeah, just brilliant play, and Germany was all of a sudden up 2-0, so Japan was probably getting, I don't know, like a little bit nervous. However, in the third game, they did have their first, like, Worlds 2015 competitor in Moriyama, who, yeah, once, as I said, got to the top 8 there. Once again, it was Kangaskhan, Groudon, Xerneas versus Kanga, Groudon, Xerneas, just like in my game. But this time around, Moriyama also had that Thunderous, which I thought was pretty interesting, and yeah, just that Thunderous was able to paralyze Drugduck's Xerneas, so that Moriyama's Xerneas and Groudon would be able to outspeed it, and yeah, tear him down with Moonblasts, Eruptions, Dazzling Gleams, and so on. And yeah, the only thing Drugduck probably could have done here was to bring in Bronzong at some point and set up the Trick Room, but yeah, like once he, yeah, like Drugduck tried to capitalize on the fact that he did get up the Geomancy and wanted to do like as much damage as possible, but by KOing Moriyama's Thunderous, Moriyama could bring in his Groudon, and then yeah, the option for Bronzong and the Trick Room play was no longer given. So that was that. Also, pretty clean victory here by Moriyama, and the first victory for Japan in this game. Yeah, Drugduck, if you're watching the battle video, or like if any one of you is like watching the battle video on my channel, like second turn I think, or yeah, second turn Bronzong, and like switching Bronzong probably to take the Moonblast, but yeah, then again, I mean, it comes down to prediction. Thunderous could have attacked, and yeah, and so on and so on. So yeah, Moriyama was able to win here by just, yeah, sweeping with Xerneas basically. And then the fourth game, which I thought was a very interesting game, Tony going with the feared Smeargle Xerneas lead versus Mikilele's Kangaskhan and Cresselia. Now, pretty cool plays on both ends. Cresselia just going for the Trick Room, and then it looked pretty well as Mikilele was able to pick up the KO on Tony's Kangaskhan. But then when Mikilele was like fully set up, he had his Groudon behind the substitute and skill swap with Levitate. So he was like really ready to take out that Smeargle, the Xerneas, and then he also had Landorus T in the back. So he could have like Earthquake freely and so on and so on. But yep, the only thing that yeah, really ruined his day here was that Smeargle carrying White Guard. Now, Tony's Smeargle was like very, very cheapy, like cheap, like I don't know. Um, I don't know, like he definitely prepared for a best of one setting as his Smeargle was actually Mental Herb, and he did have White Guard, Follow Me, Spiky Shield, and Fake Out, I believe. I'm not sure, but he did not have Dark Void, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, Tony definitely preparing for a best of one kind of setting, with that Mental Herb and White Guard Smeargle. But hey, potentially it has potential, and yeah, something you should watch out for in the future. So it was 2-2 solely because of White Guard. And it was also a little bit heartbreaking because Mikelele's Crystalia did not have Psychic, but he Icy Winded the turn the Trick Room would end. So next turn his Groudon would have been faster than the Smeargle, and things would have been great. But yeah, White Guard blocked his dreams there. So it was 2-2, came down to the last game between Vera and Daflo. And now this was the only game that did not feature Groudon, Xerneas, Kangaskhan, but we still saw like we still saw a mirror kind of game between Kyogre this time though. This game was actually pretty crazy. In case you watched the battle video, then you probably realized that all three, the Kyogre, the Dialga, and the other Kyogre, all speed tied at 85 speed. So that was kind of crazy. A lot of, I don't know, like unpredictable stuff happened, like who would be faster with the water spout, and then we would weaken the other guy's water spout, and so on and so on. So Duffalo even timed out in one turn, but luckily he like psychicked into the Dialga that wasn't protecting and stuff like that. So this game was definitely crazy, but in the end, Duffalo's Mega Rayquaza was able to pick up the pieces as yeah, Vieira could not really make good use of the Trick Room he set up, and then once Trick Room was outstalled, Rayquaza just KO'd everything with Dragon Ascent. So, pretty cool game, well played by both competitors here, and I'm not really sure if that was like a specific play where I would have, I don't know, like moved differently or anything like that, but it's just worth noting that yeah, those speed ties were definitely a factor here in this game, and yeah, the flows, Aegislash also did some like nice maneuvering. One turn he did not go for the King's Shield, tricking Vieira into thinking that it was like the Sash variant that was pretty popular in Japan at some point. But then it revealed the King's Shield, but was still asleep when Vieira tried to Brave Bird it with his Talonflame. I don't know, like this game was definitely crazy, and yeah, definitely worth being like the last game of this friendly. So what can we learn from this like friendly from those 5 games? I don't know. Looking forward into 2016, I do think that VGC16 is definitely a very interesting format, but I also do think that yeah, it's like a lot different to VGC15. In VGC15, especially in the end, there was like a lot of maneuvering, spreading Intimidate, get the speed control, have switch in your Amoonguss, Rage Powder substitutes, like so much stuff you could do. Your Landorus would never die, switch it in and out, or like never faint. Kangaskhan comes in for fake out pressure, goes out, back again, and so on and so on. And then VGC 16 kind of is like set up or proceed to set up your either Kyogre or Groudon into position where they could fire off eruptions and water spouts, and there's like almost nothing that can switch in on those, or set up your Xerneas and then just sweep them because there's nothing, or like there's hardly anything that can really stop the +2/+2/+2 deer. And so yeah, the pace of VGC 16 is definitely interesting, but it also means that like little luck that is involved here and there can make like a bigger factor than in the last year's format. I think like if you got a flinch, you could still like somehow crawl back, but if you lose the speed tie between Groudons and you get Earth powered, then you're probably done for. So yeah, I think people who will have success in this format will be those people that manage to find ways to avoid those situations, avoid those speed ties probably, or just come up with like stuff that really counters those meta strategies. And I don't know. I do also think that we saw that best of one is probably not the most enjoyable thing in this format, and I definitely would prefer best of three across tournaments like regionals, for example, because I do think that best of one in this format, first of all, like the games go by pretty fast, and since the mons are just so powerful, like one unlucky move or like unlucky selection in team preview can definitely cost you the game. Not knowing Smurgle's item can cost you the game. Is it Choice Scarf? Is it Focus Sash? Is it maybe even like Mental Herb, what Tony was using? Luckily that didn't come into account. Does it let Smurgle have Wide Guard, for example? I mean, Mikileles, the squad he picked, they were like almost all of his mons had like spread moves. I mean, sure, you could argue that, well, he probably should have anticipated like Wide Guard potentially and prepared, but I don't know, like Smurgle just learns every move basically, so it's hard to prepare for anything. And I would definitely appreciate best of three. I mean, of course, it's like a timing issues and so on, but yeah, just little luck is really like more important, at least at this point in the season. It seems like one unlucky turn and then I don't know, the game is just over. So maybe you're of a different opinion, but I definitely do think that best of three is probably what we would need to make this format very enjoyable. Let me know in the comments if that is also what you think, or if you prefer best of one plays, and yeah, give me your reasons for that. So yeah, that's that. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the members of Team Japan in San Francisco, and yeah, that we will battle it out on the big stage, hopefully. And yeah, so this got a little bit longer than I expected it to be, but maybe you got here till the end, so thanks a lot for watching. Maybe you learned something in this video, and yeah, see you guys soon. If you like this, make sure to leave a like or comment. Yeah, give me your thoughts about this format, about best of one, best of three, and what you thought about Team Japan's teams. And yeah, the content on this channel will probably slow down a little bit right now because like next weekend I won't be there, and yeah, since we still don't have that in-game ladder, I'm really trying like to look for people to play on Wi-Fi with, since I really don't like Showdown as much. But yeah, we will see. So thanks a lot for watching, and by the way, also thank you a lot for the support. I saw that I have like 1,600 subscribers or something. That was very, very nice. Very, very happy that people are liking the content here. If you have any suggestions what I could do next, like in future videos, also let me know. And that's basically it. So once again, thanks for watching, and see you. Bye.